One night, we had quite a storm. As I was watching the lightning, I started thinking about this channel, rooted and growing, and what it means to me. The next morning, after the storm, I went out to my garden to take a look and see what had happened to it, because some of the rain during the night had been quite heavy. The sweet potatoes were still there, the kale was still standing, the flowers were still growing, and everything looked just a little bit refreshed. Plants need sunshine to grow, but they also need rain. And sometimes the rain comes with storms. As I came inside from looking at my garden, I found something almost as surprising as that beautiful lightning storm the night before. Pepe and Kari sleeping next to each other on the couch. If you know these two, you would know that this is a very rare occurrence. Kari, she would much rather have Pepe about 10 feet away from her at most times. She doesn't tolerate him very well at all. So apparently the storm brought a little bit of peace to everyone. Thinking about why I chose the name Rooted and Growing. Jesus tells a story about the parable of the sower, throwing seeds on all sorts of different types of soil. Some never took root. Some took root quickly and then faded away. Some grew and produced a harvest. It reminds me that growth isn't just about the seed. It's also about the soil. For me, being rooted begins with my relationship with Jesus, growing and learning more about Him. For me, that is my foundation that everything else grows from. Just like plants need good soil, I think we all need something that grounds us. One thing that gardening is teaching me is that growth doesn't always look the same for everyone, or the way we expect it to look. This spinach has apparently decided that it was done with this phase of life and wants to move on to the next phase. When I planted it, I imagined harvesting spinach leaves and having beautiful green salads. Instead, it's decided to start producing flowers and seeds. The older I get, the more I realize that growth doesn't always happen on my timetable. Plants don't get to choose when the storms come, and neither do we. Looking back on my life, some of these seasons that helped me grow the most weren't the easiest. There were seasons I would not have chosen, seasons that felt uncertain, seasons that felt dry, and seasons that were stormy. But growth happens during all of those different times. The goal isn't to avoid every storm. The goal is to develop roots strong enough to withstand them. When I was growing up, one of my favorite songs was about a tree planted by the river and how it could not be moved. I loved it as a child, but now as I'm older, I understand it more. The promise wasn't that storms would never come. The promise was that a tree with deep roots could withstand them. Sometimes the things I grow thrive. Sometimes they struggle. Sometimes recipes I make do really great, and sometimes they don't. But I believe growth comes from all of it. That's what Rooted and Growing is about to me. Take care, be kind, and keep growing. Laura.